Okay, we're putting out this 58 manifold. So I got 3 of the 4 sides done right now. So basically we're cutting this sharp edge out that's right in here so it'll flow better. See, the top's already radiused over. This has not been cut yet. So you can see the sharp edge in there. Still sitting right in there. Whoop, get it where you can see it. This side over here, we've already been working on it, so it's already radiused. Cut through here a little bit. Through here. So we're working on it. Alright, I'll be back a second. Alright, we're back. Good interruptions. Okay, anyway, I'm working on the last of the angle. So basically I'm using my steel cutting bit, not my aluminum one. So we have these in variable sizes. Got this one too, which I don't use. And this is my final one, which is pretty dull. But I can work on the back side really good. This one's hard to work on the back side. This one here I do quite a bit on the back side, right through here. When you're cutting on the back side of the port, you can see how the tool doesn't fit in here very well. So if you want to grind right there and work on that radius, you wind up working like this, and you're working right on this edge right here. So that's why it's all polished right through here, because it does a lot of rubbing on there before that little bit starts cutting right there. So you want to use light pressure, relatively low speed to work it down. Now the sharp edge right here, when you work on that, you just get in there and take, get it where you can see it, or I can see it. So you just get in there, kind of in there, and you work on that edge. Just work right on the edge and just work it down. When you get down to little ways, then you start coming in there and starting to do your radiuses, and you do your blending like right over here. So try to hold this where you can see. So you start doing it that way. You come through from both directions, because you can hit different areas of the port. There's a good view of what you're doing. You go all the way across this way and you start working your way back, come back across. You do a lot of back and forth, up and down movement like this. Try to keep it smooth. You don't cut in just one area. And you progressively make it what you want. Take it slow and easy, and don't try to do it all in one shot. There's only so much metal in here too, so you gotta be careful. Alright, so this is the back edge over here. So right now I got a sharp edge. I'm just going to work on the edge down until I get a little bit dull, and then I'll start going back and forth from both sides. So you cut a little bit on each side, go back and forth. That way you keep the transitional areas smooth. Okay, that was all one side. So you can see how you knock off the high spot. It's hard to see in here what you're doing, but you knock it off, and then you can start blending it from both sides now. So work a little at a time. That's all you can do. It takes time. Kind of let the cutter feel the high spots. When you get on top of something, cut that area. When you get down to the low spot, don't cut there. The cutter will try to tell you where to go. Keep the speeds down helps too. You have more control. You're not trying to remove massive amounts of metal. You're trying to smooth it and get the shape it to where you want it to be. Get one side halfway decent, you go on the other side. It'll look horrible from this side. You can start working on it. You hear how the sharp edge digs in pretty quick? And it smooths out, see? Go back on the other side, do the same thing. Roll your finger in there and feel the high spot. Judge how much more you got to go. Stick your fingers over and feel how thin it is. Gotta remember you got to keep some metal in there too, so it's getting pretty thin. Feels pretty equal in the thinness. So anyway, now the radius is in there on both sides now. So remember the air flows in this direction here, so that's the most important way of flowing, through this direction like this. You can do it top to bottom. Make sure it looks pretty equal. Okay, I'm going to switch my cutter to a flatter bit. When you go to this dimension here over this one leaves you more dips in it. This will tend to flatten it a little bit more. But it also will dig in on the back side, so you got to be careful. You can do damage quickly if you're not careful. Feels smooth, flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. something than what I did on the other side, so I gotta cut a little deeper. That's assuming the manifold is made on both sides the same. A lot of times they're not. If you try to equalize, you might cut through on one side, you gotta be careful. So we're gonna smooth it up first, not cut all the way down. So it's definitely got less. It feels thinner on the one side than the other. Yeah, this side's a little bit sharper, a little bit higher up. So I could blow into a little bit more in here, but it's pretty thin, so I don't know if I want to push it too much. And just lightly kiss a little bit more, just right here. It's hard to see it, but you can feel it. Back to my rougher cut, or sharper cut I should say. This one little area has got like a hump that I want to get rid of. 15-20 thou makes a big difference on this. Back and forth in the same spot. Try not to overcut. Alright. That made a noticeable difference in how it feels. Yep. Feel more even now. This may as well just a little bit makes a difference. Alright, so now it's pretty, flip it over like it's supposed to be, this direction. So you can see in my shirt how much blue you can see. See a teardrop window in there? See how large it is now? And see how equal it looks shape-wise. Even radius is all the way to scalp, what do you even call it? So you want to keep those equal, so you get that pattern looks equal all around, see? That's what you're looking for, is large and equal. That's a lot more flowier than headstock. Okay, now I'm just going to lightly hit the radius right in here, clean it up a little bit. When you work at top and bottom, you're not actually hitting right in the middle. So this one here, I'm just going to do this by hand. This light's not doing a damn thing for me, except being in my way. A lot of what I'm doing is just blind. I'm working on the back side in here. This bit's pretty dull, so it doesn't do much cutting. more even. Still isn't perfect, but more even than this side. You're going back and forth like this as you're rotating around this way. Trying to show what I'm doing there by looking through the window. See, I can't see that, but that's when I'm radiusing through there. Alright, that looks pretty even now. Except where I can see a little better. I don't feel the unevenness in it like it was. Had the ripples in there, which is your... Every time you leave a cut like this, you leave a little ripple like this. And you have to go in and knock the ripples off by going back and forth across the whole area. Alright, so I got that smoothed up pretty good. So that should flow a lot more air than it did. Got to clean up a little bit. Got some rust over here where I haven't been cutting yet. So I'll just knock this off, a little bit of rust right here. And any burrs might come off. See if you're feeling it looks uneven. It's a little bit uneven right here, so we'll work on a little more. There we go. Feels a little better. Down in the middle I need to get. You can grind right here where my finger is, down in this area, so it's all rusty. You can see it through here, right in this area. So we just have to knock that out right in there. It's pretty heavy rusted right there now too. Still brown color a little bit, but it's not so even now. We don't have to get all 100% off. Okay, so now we're going to take this on our table and sand this flat and make sure that's all flat. So we'll go show you how to do that next. Alright, Scooby's come to help. You gonna help, Scooby? Yeah, Scooby wants to help. I hear a whistler. Who's whistling? Uh-oh. Neighbor. Soldering gun. Did it work? That's fine. Did it work?
Yep.
Good.
Something else is wrong with the machine.
Something else is broken. Well,
yeah, inside.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So that's probably what caused the wire to break. Alright, it's a little uneven, so we're going to work on this some more. Get rid of this paper. 150. We need some coarser grit. What are you doing, Scooby? Scooby's here to help.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
Alright, see you later.
Yep.
Now, here's what we need. Something worn out 120. That ought to do something for me. Oh yeah, that dug in good. getting a little better. Got a lot of chrome on there. Chrome's hard to cut. This paper won't leave it perfectly flat either. This is a whole other problem. Down to this one. Now, this one I didn't scrape it off. I can either sand it off or I can scrape it off first. You should scrape it off first. The sandpaper will screw up your, not sandpaper, the gasket material will screw up your damn sandpaper. Ah, my finger didn't like that. Even though that's not really a sharp edge, it still hurts when it scrapes across your finger. Alright, that's good for getting gasket material off. That's most of the gasket's gone. You need more of a knife blade for thick gasket material. Alright, you can see the machine marks on this thing. It's pretty uneven and rough. Okay, we're going to switch over to 120 grit. It's a newer sheet. Make sure there's nothing up on the table. Doesn't want to move. Not very flat, see? Cut heavy. See a little bit of a bow to it. Quite a bit of a bow, actually. A little bit. Now you can cheat by tapping it with a hammer and bring it down a little bit so you don't cut off so much material. Basically, you can take a nice smooth hammer, just tap it right on the surface where it's high. Tap it down a little bit. It helps a little bit. It also breaks if you hit it too hard. So it helped a little bit bringing it a little bit closer, but it's still mainly just sanding it off. See how uneven it is. Pretty uneven. Of course, the sandpaper's not exactly all that good either for doing this. It's not making it really flat, I know that. Just getting it close. Okay. Whew. So when it starts to come in all the way around a little bit, you switch over to your finer paper. Not finer paper, but better paper. This is more flat. Usually it cuts a little bit flatter when you do it that way. Keep moving around different angles. And it's starting to get a little closer. That's probably good enough for a gasket to work to. At the very end, I can see a circular pattern on it. That gets rid of all the sanding marks. It gives you a pretty good idea how flat it is too. If you still see linear marks in there after you do that, that means it's not flat. So, that's pretty good. I'll go to this one, the same thing. You can see the marks are in here right now where it's cutting heavy before. I'm going to do a circular pattern and see how uneven this is. The first thing, see, it doesn't want to even move. That's not a good sign. Yeah. So it was so uneven I couldn't even hardly move it. So still pretty hard to move it. Let's dig it in. Alright, I'm going to try linear marks. As it starts to wear into this paper, it gets easier to move. Starting to come in pretty good though. It's definitely not very flat. Alright, that looks pretty good. I want to go make it perfect. You see how deep the original scratches were in their cut marks. It was never really was that flat. Alright, so it's a lot flatter now. Oh yeah, I'm going to clean this up. I'll come back.